अथ गुरुपरम्परा वन्दना सदाशिवसमारम्भां नन्दिनाथसुनन्दितां तिरुमूलारसिद्धान्त तेजोरश्मिप्रकाशिताम्।
The core purpose of all the major religions is to provide guidance to human beings so that in pursuing their natural ambitions to achieve wealth and love, they do so in a manner that adheres to the principles of virtue. In some religions, this focus on virtuous and dutiful living is the sum total of its religious practice. However, in Hinduism, there is an important fourth pursuit: liberation. Together, these four, called Dharma, virtue, Artha, wealth, Kama, love, and Moksha, liberation, are referred to as the Purusharthas, which means goals of the soul. Also called Chaturvarga, fourfold good, they form a cornerstone of Hindu ethics. Although Dharma, Artha, and Kama are valid and important ends in themselves, their greatest value is in providing the environment and experiences which help the embodied soul mature over many lives until it attains moksha. In other words, moksha is a higher level goal than Dharma, Artha, and Kama. My Guru, Savaya Subramanya Swami, expressed this idea in saying, "To know yourself is why you are on earth. You were born to realize the self. You are not here to make money, to clothe yourself, or to entertain yourself. These are incidentals." The fourth pursuit, moksha, is liberation from rebirth on earth, release from transmigration, samsara, the round of births and deaths. Until moksha is achieved, a soul continues to be reborn on earth. Gurudeva described the achievement in this way. Liberation, moksha, comes when dharma has been well performed, all our karmas are resolved, and God has been fully realized. Another way of stating God has been fully realized is for an individual to permanently reside in the highest states of divine consciousness. To fully understand what this means, we can look at what the various states of human consciousness are. Imagine human consciousness as a ladder with 14 rungs. The lower rungs represent the lower states of consciousness, and the higher rungs represent the higher states of consciousness. An excellent understanding of these states is found in the Hindu system of the chakras. Our Himalayan Academy lexicon states that chakra, meaning wheel in Sanskrit, metaphysically refers to the nerve plexuses, or centers of force and consciousness located within the inner bodies of man. In the physical body, each corresponds to specific nerve plexuses, ganglia, and glands. The 7 principal chakras can be seen psychically as colorful, multi-petaled wheels or lotuses. They are situated along the spinal cord from the base to the cranial chamber. Additionally, 7 chakras, barely visible, exist below the spine. They are seats of instinctive consciousness, the origin of jealousy, hatred, envy, guilt, sorrow, etc. They constitute the lower or hellish world, called Naraka or Patala. Thus, there were 14 major chakras in all. Their Sanskrit names and location in the human body are as follows. with each numbered as a rung on the ladder of consciousness. First rung, Patala, located in the soles of the feet, murder and malice. Second rung, Mahatala, feet, absence of conscience. Third rung, Rasatala, ankles, pure selfishness. Fourth rung, Talatala, calves, prolonged confusion. Fifth rung, Sutala, knees, retaliatory jealousy. Sixth rung, Vitala, thighs, raging anger. Seventh rung, Atala, hips, fear and lust. Eighth rung, Muladhara, base of spine, sacral, pelvic plexus, memory, time, and space. Ninth rung, Swadhisthana, lower abdomen, hypogastric plexus, reason. 10th rung, Manipura, diaphragm, solar plexus, willpower. 11th rung, Anahata, heart, cardiac plexus, direct cognition. 12th rung, Vishuddha, throat, pharyngeal plexus, divine love. 13th rung, Ajna, third eye, cavernous plexus, divine sight. 14th rung, Saraswara, crown of head, pituitary plexus, illumination. Above and within the crown chakra at the top of the head, there are 7 subtle chakras, making 21 in all. Each chakra is a state of consciousness that is more advanced than the previous one. In the lower 7 chakras, this manifests in that the grosser state of consciousness is dropped off when awareness moves up a chakra. For example, in moving from the 6th rung to the 7th, we drop off raging anger. In the higher 7 chakras, this manifests in acquiring a new superconscious ability. For example, moving from direct cognition to divine love, we acquire the consciousness of seeing and loving the divine in all beings. The Hindu perspective is that over the course of many lives, a human soul gradually climbs this ladder of consciousness. All souls start out in a lower selfish state and ultimately end up in an illumined state filled with divine light and love. This is a process that goes on automatically from life to life. The process is natural as evolving from childhood to maturity. My guru often said that everyone has a guru. Until one reaches the higher rungs on the ladder, that guru is the world. Gurudeva playfully named this guru Shri 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 Vishwaguru Maha Maharajji and gave this description. He does live up to his name in all ways, for Vishwa means everything and everyone in the world, and Guru, of course, means teacher. Maharaj is great ruler. Vishwaguruji, as I call him, seemingly teaches so patiently, yet accepts no excuses and remains unforgivingly exacting in his lessons. Gradually, eventually, and it may take many lifetimes, everyone comes to see that he is leading them to an understanding that every freedom has its price, every action its reaction, that the path to perfection is up and up and up. In this upward climb in consciousness, at some point when an individual is starting to reside for short periods on the 11th rung of the ladder of consciousness, in the heart chakra of direct cognition, the ascent becomes a conscious one. that individual consciously realizes that life is all about deepening their spirituality. At this stage, it is natural to seek out a guru for training in the yogas, which are Hinduism's disciplines for facilitating this ascent of consciousness. There are 4 widely known approaches. Karma Yoga is the path of action. Bhakti Yoga is the path of devotion and love of God. Raja Yoga is the path of meditation, and Jnana Yoga is the path of spiritual knowing. Exactly which ones are pursued and in what way varies from guru to guru. However, the overview is the same. The more you practice and perfect them, the sooner you are able to climb to the next rung on the ladder of consciousness. Another important aspect of how practice relates to progress is found in Rishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, verse 114, in which he decrees that practice must be done with devotion and consistency for long periods of time. In other words, making spiritual progress happens slowly. In fact, it occurs over a span of multiple lives. In his song, The Yoga Path, my Guru's Guru Yogaswami of Jaffna, Sri Lanka, refers to the final 7 stages of this upward climb. The 6 steps first you must traverse. Then will come the silver step. If you surmount that too, my treasure, who will be your equal? The 6 steps Swami refers to are the 6 chakras from Muladhara to Ajna, and the silver step is the final rung before liberation, reaching the 7th chakra, Sahasrara. In our modern world, millions of seekers consider themselves spiritual but not religious, SBNR. Such individuals are interested in experiencing higher consciousness, but choose to do so outside the context of religion. One reason for this is that the spiritual knowledge and practice within some religions is not well known. The Hindu insight of climbing the ladder of consciousness is a popular concept of spirituality that resonates well with many SBNRs. In his talk, Hinduism, the greatest religion in the world, my Guru observed, "No other faith boasts such a deep and enduring comprehension of the mysteries of existence, or possesses so vast a metaphysical system. In the West, it is the mystically awakened soul who is drawn to Hinduism for understanding of inner states of consciousness. Discovering after ardent seeking that Hinduism possesses answers which do not exist elsewhere and is capable of guiding awareness into ever-deepening mind strata. We can all help spread the word that Hinduism embodies a profound, practical, and sophisticated tradition of spirituality, in which unfoldment can be calibrated with the ladder of chakras paradigm. When it comes to climbing the ladder of consciousness and experiencing higher states of consciousness, the general approach that modern teachers take is to focus on stimulating your higher chakras, perhaps in as short a period as a weekend seminar. Gurudeva's teachings differ from this approach. Instead, we focus first on closing off the 7 lower chakras, the seats of fear, anger, malice, etc. He explains, spiritual unfoldment is not a process of awakening the higher chakras, but of closing the chakras below the Muladhara. Once this happens, the aspirant's consciousness slowly expands into the higher chakras, which are always there. The only thing that keeps the lower chakras closed is regular sadhana, japa, worship, and working within oneself. This is demonstrated by the fact that even great yogis and rishis who have awakened into the higher chakras continue to do more and more sadhana. They are constantly working to keep the forces flowing through the higher centers so that the lower ones do not claim their awareness. Through sadhana worship and working within ourselves, we strengthened our refined, magnanimous soul qualities and harness our coarse, instinctive nature. As Gurudeva observed, the fact is, the higher we go, the lower we can fall. The platform of character must be built within our lifestyle to maintain the total contentment needed to persevere on the path.